To continue now, we have to Professor Ana Dubova introduce to Professor Aurea Martinez Varela. You can start, Professor Ana.
Okay, thank you very much, Juan. Thank you very much, Aurea, for accepting to give a talk in our seminar. So I will say some words to present you. So the Professor Aurea Martinez Varela is graduated from the University of Santiago de Compostela in Spain. She defended her PhD thesis under supervision of Professor Alfredo Bermudez. She is currently professor at University of Vigo within the Department of Applied Mathematics. Her research interests include the optimal control of partial differential equations, especially focused on the application to environmental problems. So today she will give a talk about the optimal control of PDEs, some environmental applications. So thank you very much again, and you can start.
Thank you for your words and for inviting me to this session. I'm a member of the group of Simulation and Control. This is an inter-university group that uses control and optimization techniques to study different real-world environmental control problems, considering both ecological and economic point of view. Here, I'm going to talk about 3 different environmental problems. The first problem deals with the minimization of air pollution due to traffic in urban networks. The second one is related to control of water eutrophication by means of artificial circulation techniques. The last one studies the optimal design of a water quality monitoring network in an estuary. Finally, I will mention other problems studied by our group. Well, related to air pollution, we all know the problem of traffic jams in big cities. One of the main negative consequences of traffic flow is the high levels of pollution caused by it. So we will try to reduce pollution effect by the optimal management of the urban road network. In the case I present here, we are interested in optimizing both the air quality and the traffic flow. And our control variables will be located at road intersection. Are the capacity of all roads at each junction and the preferences of drivers. This is a simplified scheme of our road network with roads and junctions, where each road is parameterized by a map preserving the sensor of traffic. To model the traffic flow in each row, we use the classical continuity equation for density and velocity with a so-called static relation where the flag of car depends of their density. So, this will be the final equation for the density of traffic at each row of the network, the Lighthill-Windham-Richards model. Then, for the state system, we will consider this traffic model that couples the previous equation with a Q model for each road in the network. In the coupling condition at each junction, we can find parameters alpha for preferences of drivers, percentage of drivers that are arriving to the junction from An incoming avenue are going to take an outgoing avenue. And parameters beta for capacities, percentage of cars that arriving from an incoming avenue can enter an outgoing avenue. For simplicity, we will take here alpha fixed and beta will be our control variable. To simulate our pollution due to traffic, we consider a convention reaction diffusion equation for pollution concentration phi, where v is the wind velocity. The pollution sources are given by radon measured on each row, depending on the traffic flow. For the state system, we can prove this result of existence and uniqueness of solution. We will consider this real-world example corresponding to a road network in Guadalajara metropolitan area in Mexico. Vector beta will be our control variable subject to these constraints. And this will be our cost function. The first one tries to minimize queues and travel time. And the second one tries to minimize pollution. Then we have a multi-objective problem that will be analyzed from a cooperative point of view. That is with a Pareto strategy. We have also studied a non-cooperative hierarchical strategy of Stackelberg type. For a simpler computation of the ecological cost function, we will use an adjoint system that only needs to be solved once. So for the numerical resolution of the problem, we must solve previously the adjoint system by finite element techniques. Then for each evaluation of the cost functional, we solve the traffic model by a finite volume method. And finally, for the optimization step, we use LST's genetic algorithm. This is the Pareto from we obtained, where we highlight three particular optimal solutions. Beta T optimize only traffic flow. Beta P minimize only pollution. Beta C is a compromise solution optimizing both aspects. These are the pollution isolines for the three cases: high pollution, low pollution, medium pollution. And these are the flow variables for the three cases: traffic density, flow, queue length, and outflow. Finally, these are some of our references on the topic. The second example is related to the control of water eutrophication by means of artificial circulation technique. That is reducing the quantity of algae in water by forcing its artificial movement. Artificial circulation consists of using electrical pumps that collect water from the upper layers and inject it in bottom layers to increase oxygen content. We want to minimize the volume of water pumped and consequently the energy cost in such a way that water reaches some quality standards. This is the mathematical formulation of the problem where we consider 4 pump groups. Our control variables will be the volume of water displaced by each one of the 4 pumps. And our state system will couple 2 models. The first one is the hydrodynamic model for water velocity and pressure, consisting of the Navier-Stokes equation modified with a Smagorinsky term for turbulence. The second model corresponds to a complex nonlinear eutrophication model with 5 species, nutrients, phytoplankton, zooplankton, detritus, and oxygen, representing the interactions between the different species. Then our optimal control problem consists of minimizing an objective function for energy cost, where the controls, the volumes of pumped water, must satisfy some technological constraint, and the state, in this case, the species, must remain inside some quality constraints. Under some regularity assumptions, we can prove that the hydrodynamic model has a unique solution in a suitable functional space. Also that the eutrophication model has a unique smooth solution. Then, using previous existence results, we can demonstrate that the optimal control problem has at least a solution. Uniqueness is not expected by the high nonlinearity of the problem with respect to the derivation of optimality condition. We have obtained them for the discretized problem, but the continuous case is still a work in progress. For the numerical resolution of the state system, we use a characteristic finite element method that we have implemented in FreeFEM++. And for the optimization process, we use the interior point algorithm IPOT. These are many technical details for the discretization that I will skip. And I will present some numerical results for our example with different time intervals, 12 hours, 1 day, and 2 days. These are some graphical results. In the first row, we can see the optimal control for the 4 pump groups. For instance, in the third one, we can observe the alternance of pumps. When one pump is working hard, the opposite one goes weak. And also how after a period of high energy consumption in order to reach the water quality standard, the pumps enter a period of low activity, only for the water quality maintenance. The second row shows compliance with constraints. And also, this picture corresponds to the concentration of dissolved oxygen at final times. And these are some of our references on the topic. The last example is related to the optimal design of a water quality monitoring network for an estuary in order to detect and restore water health. The two main points in the design of a water quality monitoring network are the number and the location of the sampling stations. The number is usually given by the availability. Then we will center our attention in optimizing the location of this monitoring station. There exists a small number of studies on the optimal sampling location, but mainly from a statistical point of view. We formulate the problem under an optimal control approach within a simulation-based optimization framework. We consider a two-level optimization problem where the upper level corresponds to the optimal fixing of the sampling point location, and the lower level problems are related to the optimal determination of the pollution sources. In particular, the upper level optimization problem concerns the finding of the optimal sampling location, which best determines several random point source pollution episodes. The associated objective function is minimized by a controlled random search procedure for global optimization. In the process, the lower level optimization problems are related to the optimal identification of the random pollution sources. The cost function gives the differences between the observed and the predicted values. These lower level problems are solved with linked simulation optimization techniques, employing the gradient-free Nelder-Mead algorithm for the minimization process and a convention diffusion relation equation for the simulation step. For the mathematical modeling, we consider a domain omega representing a estuary, where we are interested in determining the optimal location of a given number of sampling points, each one inside a decided area. We try to find the best location that, from the sampling data taken at those points, determine discharge point and intensity. To model the concentration of a pollutant, for instance, bacteria E. coli, coming from a discharge of intensity M at point B, we need to solve this initial boundary value problem. For each set of sampling points P and for each set of sampling data D, we define this cost function. Then our objective is to determine the vector so that each pollution discharge can be recovered by solving this inverse problem. to determine the good quality of a particular set of sampling point location, we consider a number m of random pollution source, which must be identified after solving the initial boundary value problem for the different pollution scenarios. We obtain the corresponding synthetic data. Then we solve the intermediate optimization problems and define a goodness function to measure the precision when identifying each pollution source. Finally, to find the optimal set of sampling point location, we need to solve this global optimization problem. This is a detailed flowchart of the full procedure. For a simulation-based optimization approach to the numerical solution of the problem by a discretization process, we need addressing the initial boundary value problem, the intermediate optimization problem, and the global optimization problem. Then for the initial boundary value problem, we use a finite element method on a triangular mesh implemented in FreeFEM++. When we solving the intermediate minimization problems, we use a direct search algorithm, the Neldermid method, modified with a oriented restarting. Finally, for solving the global minimization problem, we use a controlled random search procedure for global optimization, combined with a multi-star strategy. We present the numerical test for a real-world scenario posed in the area of Vigo that can be seen in the picture. These are some data for the test. In this case, we consider 5 monitoring stations and 9 synthetic discharge. Here, I present the optimal solution with the 5 locations with this very low cost value. And this is a suboptimal solution also with a low cost value. These are synthetic, the obtained discharge for the optimal and the suboptimal case. We can see that in both cases are very accurate. The results for the optimal distribution case with the second and the third monitors practically stuck together could indicate that the number of sampling stations could be reduced from 5 to 5 without a loss of quality. And these are some possible extension of our methodology. Finally, some of our references on the topic. And these are other environmental control topics that we have studied in recent times. And, thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Aurea, for this very nice talk with many difficult problems. So let's ask to the audience if there are some questions. So you can use the microphones or the chat, please. Go ahead. I can see some messages on the chat, but I think it's also it's organization part. So while people think, and probably I have just a curiosity question. I know you are very connected to the industry. So have you some applications, practical applications of your study and in some cases, or just a theoretical part?
Contesta, va a contestar Lino en inglés.
Ah, perdón. Puede contestar en español.
Sí,
¿Sí contestaste en español?
Sí,
contesta.
sí, conteste en
No,
español.
este es
Claro.
son estudios esencialmente académicos. A nosotros
Ujú.
nos gustaría contrastarlos con la realidad, pero es muy difícil obtener datos de las administraciones o de tener datos
Sí,
de las empresas que te permitan validar si lo que estás haciendo está bien o está mal. Pues nos gustaría llegar a un compromiso de poder llevarlo a la práctica, pero todo se queda en propuestas académicas,
Sí,
digamos.
por ejemplo, los datos de la RIA, lo que es las medidas de las velocidades, de las corrientes y eso, está más o menos validado porque teníamos datos de la Xunta de Galicia sobre la RIA de Vigo, y para comprobar el modelo, pues sí que hace muchísimos años ya los resultados eran bastante razonables en un determinado momento, pero es complicado. La verdad es que nos resulta complicado. Nos gustaría, pero
entiendo.
no.
Sí, sí, entiendo. Are there some questions from the audience?
I have one question.
Okay,
Hola.
Jody,
Hello.
please.
Hola,
Hello.
hola, Aurea, muchas gracias
Hola.
por tu charla. Por curiosidad también, en esta última frame en este tema slide del Other Environmental Control Topics, en el segundo punto que pones Sediment Minimization in Canals by Shape Optimization, ¿qué es eso del Shape Optimization? ¿Qué optimizáis ahí? ¿Qué tipo de formas o qué hacéis? Por curiosidad.
Nosotros, lo que optimizamos en el segundo es la sección del canal. Era un
Ah,
problema que había planteado para el máster Endesa, y entonces tenían problemas con el vaciado porque se acumulaba sedimento.
ya.
Entonces, la idea era reducir añadiendo una especie de placas, ¿no? Colocándolas, modificar la forma del canal, y entonces
Para que hubiese menos sedimentación.
de esa manera, digamos que el agua corría más deprisa y se evitaba la sedimentación, sí, sí. O sea, se reducía, no se evitaba.
Sí, era tratar de, en vez de usar los típicos canales de forma rectangular, usar canales trapezoidales, digamos,
Sí,
y había que optimizar el ángulo de las paredes, la anchura en la base, bueno, distintos
sí,
parámetros para que se redujese la sedimentación en ellos. Y entonces, bueno, pues estaba pensado para bien, por ejemplo, inicialmente era en centrales hidroeléctricas que, bueno, usan el agua para enfriar y entonces pues la echan para afuera para que no se acumulase allí sedimento, porque después crecían algas, plantas y entonces eso cada vez iba a mayores. También lo usábamos para canales de riego, entonces porque ahí también se acumula
sí,
mucho.
eso lo vimos, sí, después, que efectivamente, por ejemplo, había muchos estudios en la India y en Bangladesh y así, que tenían problemas porque se les acumulaba sedimentos en los canales de riego, sí.
O sea,
Es otra
esencialmente era
aplicación.
optimización de forma de la
El-
sección del canal,
Sí,
digamos, con unos cuantos parámetros.
sí, sí.
muy bien. Gracias.
Nada.
Magnífico. ¿Otras cuestiones? Other questions, please? Okay, if not, we thank you again for this wonderful talk with a lot of applications to real world problem. And so thank you very much.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.